Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. If you are new, if you're not new, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marina and today, guys, it's gonna be a great video. I'm so excited. I'm gonna have so much fun. Today I'm doing another show breakdown. If you don't know what my show breakdowns are, it's basically where I talk about shows that I have recently watched. I break down what I feel about the characters, stuff they did, and then at the end I talk about stuff I dislike and or like about the show. But today it's going to be a little different because I'm doing one of my book to live adaptation show breakdowns, so I'm heavily invested today. I don't think you guys understand. Today we're going to be talking about the one and only Heartstopper. Guys, I'm a mess. Literally watched this show all the way through like twice, and I kind of want to go back a third time after like finishing this video. It's kind of excellent television. I've been gagged all day because it's just so good, and every single scene has been playing back in my head all day for the past 48 hours. That's nuts. Yeah, I'm gonna be talking about that. If you guys don't know what Heartstopper is, let me read the synopsis to you on the back. Boy meets boy. Boys become friends. Boys fall in love. Shy and soft-hearted Charlie Springs sits next to rugby player Nick Nelson in class one morning. A warm and intimate friendship follows, and that soon develops into something more for Charlie, who doesn't think he has a chance. But Nick is struggling with feelings of his own, and as the two grow closer and take on the ups and downs of high school, they come to understand the surprising and delightful ways in which love works. Doesn't it just sound so heartwarming, wholesome, and innocent? Like, I'm sorry. That's just the synopsis of the first volume, but I think that's good enough to cover like the rest of the show, to be honest, because it's just so good. The first season covers the first 2 volumes of the show, and it does it like pretty well. Like, I don't think you guys understand. They did it bar for bar, word for word, like exactly like the graphic novels. That's nuts. Yeah, let's get started. First character I'm gonna be talking about is Ben. Dare I say a nuisance, a menace to society, a sexual assaulter. Yeah, deserves no rights. Keep him away from Charlie at all times. I'm so serious. The fact that Charlie hasn't even like filed a restraining order yet, better than me, because Ben does a lot in this show, and he did a lot in the books too. Granted, I only read the first 2 volumes. I have the 3rd volume. I just haven't read it yet, but I'm sure it's not gonna end with Ben, because he just continues to be a nuisance in every single thing that he does. He's just there. To handle his unresolved feelings about his sexuality, he just decides to torment Charlie. What, by leading him on and then just harassing him on basically a daily basis. Yeah, I need him away. I need him far away from Charlie before I have to intervene. It got to a point, especially when he pulled up into the like movie theater parking lot just to harass him for what? Just because you saw him happy with Nick, you just feel the need to harass him, saying that no one will ever love him. He didn't even want to be with him, blah, 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 blah. Ben can go to hell for all I care. Like, honestly, TV shows, especially nowadays, do this all the time, where they have someone who is trying to deal with their sexuality and deal with the fact that like they might be, you know, homosexual, and then they make them astronomically homophobic. For what? I'm so tired of that trope, and I'm so glad that that's just like, it's just not even in here. It's not even in here, and it's not going to try to get resolved or anything. Like, I'm really hoping Ben does not come back. Like, I'm so sorry. I don't need a redemption for Ben. He's just a nuisance in every single way possible. Follows Charlie everywhere, yet says that Charlie's the problem. You see how you yourself are the problem? No, because that's another toxic trait that you have, Ben. Just go away. Like, honestly, from beginning to end, he was just always there for no reason. He wants to be the main character so bad, and I'm sorry, you're just not Charlie or Nick. You're not on their level. You're not on Nick's level, you're not on Charlie's level, you're not on Elle's level, you're not on Tao's level. Like, you're not a part of the main group, so just like go away, please. Next character I'm going to be talking about is Imogen. Now okay, let me try to get my thoughts in order. I wrote down notes, but even my notes are not even that concise. Imogen, I don't know how to feel about her, simply because like I'm gonna be honest, I base my feelings off of the way that she talked to Tara and Darcy in the cafeteria scene. Like, she seems cool by the end of the show, but I'm just like, I don't like how you're talking to them. I don't like how you're talking to Tara specifically, because too much. She was doing a little too much. But I guess I'm okay with her now, because I think she's sticking around. So I have no choice but to just like deal with her in the show. It's not that I even dislike her. I really don't know what to feel about her at this point. Like, that one scene kind of threw me off, and it was very early in the show too. I don't know. I mean, I'm happy that she was fine with Nick rejecting her, but also she kind of forced their relationship agenda to the whole school. Like, he never said that he wanted a relationship with her, but yet she was going around telling everyone that they were like going on dates and going on a like had a active relationship. Like, she literally went up to Tara and said, hey, like, me and Nick are in a relationship, so back off. She didn't say it like that, but that's basically like what she said. And I was like, girl, Nick's not even looking, he's not checking for you. I don't want to be mean, but like, she was just doing a lot, so I don't even know how to feel about her. And to be honest, I'm gonna save this for the end of things I liked and disliked, but I don't even know how to feel about her as a character, because for you guys that don't know, she wasn't in the books, at least like not the first two that I've read. She might be in there later, but I don't think so, because when I checked Twitter, everyone was kind of confused on why Imogen was a character to begin with, and I couldn't agree more, because I'm confused. Is anyone else confused? Just a little perturbed? Yeah, that's Imogen. Feeling the need to let everyone know that you're dating someone who has not shown you any real interest is kind of pathetic, but I kind of feel bad for her, because Nick did agree to go out on a date with her, so it gave her a little bit of hope, but then she just like held on to that hope very strongly, and it led to him rejecting her while she was grieving her dog. That's sad. But with that being said, yeah, Imogen as a character, I guess I'm okay with. I don't know. Let's move on. We're gonna get into the core group of friends. Okay, let's talk about Darcy. Darcy, I don't know why I'm laughing. This isn't funny. She's very honest and open with the way that she carries herself, and you know, I kind of have to respect that. Like, she really does not give a fuck about anyone else's opinions, and love that for her, because everyone else is always checking on her and Tara, and I'm just like, please mind your business. And Darcy is the only one that's gonna say something. So when she said I'll throw homophobic cheese at people, I'm just like, wow, that was funny for no reason whatsoever. Like, yeah, I think I like Darcy. The thing with Darcy is that, like, I swear I have interacted with Darcy's before in my life, and I didn't have fun interacting with them, but yet seeing them, like seeing a Darcy on my screen is interesting. It's fun, it's chaotic, but it's a good time, you know. When she said people are still asking if Tara has a girlfriend, even though her and Tara literally kissed at a party with like thousands of people, and people are still asking if Tara is into Nick, a guy that she kissed 3 years ago when they were in middle school. Like, I kind of busted out laughing, because why is she right? Like, why is everyone in that school so oblivious to what's going on? She literally kissed her girlfriend the night before, yet people are asking about if she's dating a guy that she kissed 3 years ago. Like, the plot's not making sense. She was checking every single homophobic girl in that school, and the guys. Like, yeah, the one thing about Darcy though, like, I feel like I wouldn't like her in real life. Gonna be honest, like I said, I've interacted with Darcy's before. Like, as soon as she came up on my screen, I was like, okay, I know who you are. I've interacted with people like you before. However, in the show, I have no issue with her. I have no issue with her whatsoever. Keep thriving, girl. Just stop meddling in relationships that don't involve you. This could include the rest of the group, but I'm targeting Darcy specifically because it was her idea to meddle with Tao and Elle's relationship at that milkshake date thing. It's everyone else's fault for agreeing to go along with it, but it was her idea. None of her business. Please don't meddle in relationships that have nothing to do with you. I know that she was just trying to help, but if you mess with Elle, you mess with me personally, so don't do that again. But yeah, that's Darcy. She's a fun character. I enjoy watching her on my screen. Next, we have one of my favorite characters, Tara. You know, it's sad because although she's a main character, I don't really have much to say about her. She welcomed Elle with open arms when Elle was like sitting by herself for weeks, and I was like, thank you, someone make sure that Elle gets a friend, and she befriends another black girl. Oh, great, love that. I truly adore that. So I'm happy about that. Like, yes, please, let's see them hang out more. Like, honestly, I didn't even get enough scenes of that, just like Elle, Tara, and Darcy just like hanging out. Like, please, let's do that next season, because I had a great time with their like three, like the trio, the girls just hanging and having a good time. Let's do that more often, please. Tara in general, we got a little bit of her personality, like stuff that she's going through in this season. Like, we got it more later on, and it's one of my favorite episodes because we actually talked about this. Like, she was struggling after coming out and people like having expectations of her or like seeing her differently because she came out, and Darcy did a good job of talking her down and like trying to help her. And I don't know, I really love that scene of them locked up in that room because it reminded me of a little mini comic like in volume 2 of Heartstopper. The mini comic, for those of you guys that don't know, is like the scene where Darcy and Tara meet for the first time. So it shows the scene where they have that first kiss in the band room where they get locked in, and so to see them locked up in the band room again in this show, it's so reminiscent. It made me so happy because I was like, Tara, you're going through something, let's handle it in the band room, because why not? I honestly love Tara. She's just such like a ray of sunshine. She was always there to help Nick. Like, she was always there to help everyone. Like, please, no one mess with Tara. If you mess with Tara, you're also messing with me, and I'm gonna have to intervene. Please, no one mess with Tara. I will fight every girl at that school who harasses her. Like, please stop. But yeah, that's Tara. That's my girl. Let's give her more plot lines. I know that she's technically not the main character, but she's part of the main friend group. So let's do more. Let's do more. Not to say like she needs to be sad all the time. No, of course not. But I would like to see more of her. She's excellent. Love her. Okay, next we have Isaac. I didn't mind Isaac. I liked him a lot because he reminded me so much of me. Just always in the corner, quietly speculating, observing, but also reading and minding his own business. Like, I'm kind of Isaac because I'm that person in my friend group that's always quiet with nothing to say, but it's always observing everyone. Like, he's the one that peeped Charlie and Nick's relationship before anyone else, and I find that hilarious because who would have thought? I did, because I know him, because I am him, you know? I love his inclusion into the show because he also wasn't a character that was written in the books, I don't think. I liked him. I like him. I hope we see more of him. He doesn't have to talk next season if he doesn't want to, because I enjoyed his presence just silently there and creeping. Like, good. Yeah, I liked him. When he flipped over the Monopoly board with his foot, I chuckled. Because why is that me when my friends get into any conflict? Like, please shut up and go to sleep. Like, I swear, me and Isaac, we see each other. We see each other. I also think he's a ray of sunshine. Every time he comes into a scene, I just get like so happy for some reason. That's with most of these characters, to be honest. I love Isaac. I just have nothing to say about him because he was barely there, but when he was there, he made an appearance that stuck. Next character is also one of my favorite characters. Probably my favorite character, like my number one favorite character, if I'm being honest. Elle. Let's talk about Elle. So, just an amazing person inside and out, the glue to the friendship, because let's just be clear, without her, I'm pretty sure that whole entire friend group would be falling apart. Like, Tao would have easily walked away from Charlie by episode 2. Tara and Darcy definitely wouldn't have gotten in touch with Nick and Charlie and helped them with their relationship. Like, she's definitely, Elle is the glue to everything going on here, you know? So you put some respect on her name, because without her, all of this, the empire would have fallen apart. And I kind of love her for that. She's the sweetest person in the whole world. Love her. She's the only person that could talk Tao down because she likes him, but he also likes her. So like, it's fine. It's fine. Literally the only person who can check him without him getting irritated. Thank you, because he was doing a lot and he needed to be checked for it. I want more of her. It's crazy, I know, because we got a lot of her this season, but I can't get enough of Elle. I love Elle. Give me more of Elle. Like, we saw a lot of her in the beginning because like she was like the loner girl at the new school, but now that she has like a friend group and everything, like what does she want to do? Like, I know that she wants to get with Tao. That's probably like her main storyline for next season, is getting with Tao or not getting with Tao, because they left us on that cliffhanger or whatever. Honestly, I don't blame her for not wanting to like act on her feelings for Tao, because it's very realistic with any like friendship to relationship thing, especially in high school. Like, you don't want to confess your feelings to your friend because you don't want to ruin the friendship, even though it's very obvious that he has feelings for her, and I think she knows that, but like neither of them want to act on it. I don't know. I get it. I'm not mad at it at all. Like, let's drag this out. Let's make this slow burn. Why not? I love how she always looks out for everyone in the friend group. It's not just Tao. It's not just Charlie. It's every single person. She always checks in and makes sure everyone's okay and doing good. She's also stunning. Like, so pretty. Whoa. Yeah, nothing much to say about her, because her whole storyline for the most part was making friends and getting with Tao, and one of those things happened and one of them didn't. So what is there to really say? Sorry, that was so there's nothing to say. These next few characters I actually do have paragraphs for, because oof. Okay, so let's talk about Tao, the one and only. I know that everyone dislikes him. Like, he's getting a lot of heat on Twitter right now, and I get it. Like, it's deserved. Don't get me wrong. But I personally understand why he acted the way he did. I'm just not sure if I like the way it was portrayed, which is what I will get to later, go more in depth on. But yeah, his wariness when it came to Nick was so valid. Like, I don't know. I understood why he was feeling that way. Could you imagine watching your friend get bullied by the kind of people that Nick hangs out with and that Nick kind of is, and then watching your friend slowly befriend someone like that, you know, and then slowly like distance themselves from him? Like, I get it. I get why he was acting like that, but it was so freaking annoying to watch on my screen. Like, I'm sorry. There was at one point I almost punched my TV. I almost punched my TV. It got very heated. Like, it was a one side type of argument between me and Tao, because I was yelling at him to like cut it out. Please, like, please. I needed Elle more in his scenes, because Elle is the only one that can calm this man down. I didn't like the way that he handled most of his situations between Nick and Charlie. It was just so ridiculous. Like, he said that he was afraid to be alone. Yeah, like, that's his thing. He just doesn't want to be alone, but he never emphasized why, never explained. He just said, I'm afraid of being alone. That's it. That's why I'm rude to like almost everyone in our friend circle. That's why I'm like kind of an asshole. And it made him appear more of an ass and more jealous than like anything. Like, I'm sorry, if you just like communicated in a healthy way, but then I remember that like these are all like 14 to 16-year-olds. None of what Tao did I feel like was really justified. Like, some of it was, but a lot of it he was just being extra. I can understand why he's wary of Nick, because he literally heard him ask Imogen out on a date one day and then go hang out with Charlie the next. So of course he's going to be a little skeptical. Like, there are those types of things where I was like, okay, this is valid. But then there's like blaming Charlie for the fact that you went to fight Harry, and I'm just like, okay, you lost me, Tao, because why is that Charlie's problem? Why are you blaming that on Charlie? You say that Charlie has this thing with feeling like his existence is a burden to others, but yet you say you blame all of this terrible stuff that's happening to you onto him. So maybe that's why Charlie feels that way. I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe just maybe I'm right though, because I don't know, he wasn't a great friend. Like, I know that he emphasized the fact that he wants to be appreciated for protecting Charlie for this song, but I'm just like, no offense, bro, but like, Charlie never asked you to do that. It's nice that you did. I mean, you're a good friend, but Charlie never asked you to protect him. He never asked you to fight his bully. That you chose on your very own. You chose to do that on your own. You can't blame no one but yourself for that. No, you can't even blame yourself for that. You should blame Harry. Harry was the one that started stuff with him that made him fight him. But yeah, to blame Charlie for that, I was like, you've completely lost me. Like, that was I think episode 7 or 8. I was like, what's going on, Towel? I don't know. I don't get me wrong. He was very like iffy in the graphic novel. So like in volume 1, I was like, why are you doing this? But then it explained. I feel like they did a better job explaining why Tao was like that in the graphic novels than they did in the show. Because in the show, he was just really freaking annoying. Like, I needed him to just calm down. Like, between him kind of like being a nuisance towards Charlie and then like pushing his straight agenda onto Nick, like, it was just weird. It made me cackle too, because when Charlie said he's not the authority of what can be considered gay or straight, I was literally like cracking up in my bed, because it's true. Why do you... I don't know if he's straight or not, but like from that conversation, I'm pretty sure he is. How are you, a straight cis man, trying to tell a gay man who is or is not straight or gay? Like, that makes no sense to me. Tao just needs to like calm down. Like, he just needs to chill out. Just doing a lot, especially with that friend text. Like, he was just like, he texted Charlie like, oh, we're barely friends anyway, so don't come to lunch. I was like, do you want him to feel more miserable than he already does? For someone who's apparently his best friend, you really know how to like, you know, hurt his feelings. Like, it was just very toxic energy, toxic friendship energy that I just did not like. Like, I'm sorry. It's not even that I dislike Tao. I just feel like he just needs to find a better way of communicating his feelings. Because this whole not wanting to be alone thing can't be your excuse forever. Like, you just gotta be better at being a friend. Because you're only nice to Elle. That's it. Like, honestly, like, please. I'm sure Charlie would have listened to you if you just had a more gentler approach, maybe, if you weren't so forceful with your opinions and being rude to Nick every time he walked into a room. Nick didn't even do anything. He's just, a tile was essentially just like on defense mode every time Nick appears. It's crazy to me. Like, calm down, please. I have nothing more to say about him. I hope him and Elle get together, because the only scenes where I actually tolerated him were the scenes with Elle. They're just very cute, and I would love to see them together. I hope it happens by next season. I'm pretty sure it will, because this season covered volume 1 and 2 of the book, so I'm assuming that season 2 is going to cover 3 and 4, and I'm pretty sure they get together by then. So I have nothing to worry about. It's all in the works. Like, don't even get me wrong. I'm in the writer's room with Alice Oseman. I'm there. Don't even worry about it, guys. I'm gonna make it happen. Let's get on to the main characters. Let's talk about Nick, the love of my life. I'm sorry, I love Nick with all my heart. Nick Nelson. I'm sorry. I literally read Heartstopper right before watching this show for the first time. So between watching the show and reading, like, I read volume 1 before watching season 1. I read it the night before, and then I watched the show the day the show came out. And then I stopped at episode 3, because that by episode 3 they finished volume 1. So I was like, whoa. I went to work, read volume 2, and then I watched the rest of the show. And I just couldn't help but feel so attached to Nick and Charlie. So I'm going to be very, very emotional. I feel like I did burst into tears watching it the first time, but the second time, like, it was bad for me, guys. So I'm sorry in advance for what I'm about to put you guys through. But Nick right here, this boy, I love him so much. Like, please, I'm sorry, I don't know how to express into words how I feel. Okay, so I'm not going to sit here and say that he didn't do a few questionable things. Of course he did. He made terrible choices. I expected that to happen, because they stuck to the book. I expected it, but it hurt more when I saw it on screen than when I read it in the book. I'm going to be honest. Like, my heart kind of cracked at some points. He dropped Ben as a friend, but then he didn't drop the rest of his incel friend group, sports team people. Why? You did not hesitate to drop Ben when you saw him sexually assaulting Charlie. But yeah, all of these guys that you hang out with, your teammates, these people, they are openly homophobic to Charlie, constantly throwing stuff at him when he's walking to school, and you see it and you don't drop them immediately. So what's the deal? What's the deal, Nick? I questioned it in the book, and I especially questioned it in the show, because it hurt even more when I saw people throwing stuff at Charlie. I was like, okay, Nick, we need to talk. We need to get it together. We need to focus. Look at me, Nick. Nick, look at me. And he did drop them. it took him a while, but he did, and I appreciate that. You were holding hands and kissing on Charlie one minute, and then like watching your friends throw shit at him and towel across the yard the next. What is it, Nick? And he chose Charlie, because of course he did. Of course he did. Of course he did. In my opinion, he should have easily dropped his friends at the party episode. Like, I think that was episode 3, when I think the bully's name is Harry, when Harry was like asking all of these homophobic questions to Charlie, and then Nick literally said, Harry, I don't like you. That's homophobic, and I really don't like you, and then walked off. That's when the friendship should have ended. I don't know why they strung that out until like episode 7. I was like, guys, come on, let's I know that you're trying to stay accurate to the book, but that's one thing about the book that I just couldn't get with. I was like, let's just cut this off here. Let's be happy for the rest of the show and just cut off this toxic friendship here. And they didn't. They dragged it down to episode 7, I think, but it's fine because they're gone now. It's all handled, it's all taken care of. Nick in general, his whole journey of discovering himself and his sexuality was just so endearing and heartwarming. Like, I don't think you guys understand, when he went to Charlie's house in the rain to like explain himself, and then ended up crying in his shoulder on his bed. I was literally, that was when I literally burst into tears. I couldn't do it. Like, it was so, because I cried while reading the book too. So watching the show, I was just like, I was done. It wasn't good for me. It wasn't good. That whole entire scene of him just confessing his feelings and how he's just so confused. The guy who plays Nick, Kit Connor, perfect choice. I can't stress that enough. Everyone in the cast was a perfect choice for their characters, but Kit Connor kind of like embodied that whole Nick role. Like, he did it justice. I didn't think it was gonna, because as I was reading the book, I was like, I really hope they don't fuck this up. I was like, this is too good of a story for them to fuck this up, please. And Nick was everything I imagined him to be. When he took that gay, like, am I gay quiz, you know the one, we've all been there before, right? That am I gay quiz, and he got a 62% homosexual, and the one lone tear. When the tear went down his face, I was cracking up laughing. Oh, it's it's definitely gonna be used as a meme on Twitter. And I'm sorry, I know it's supposed to be like kind of like a heartwarming-ish scene, but that was freaking hilarious. When he fought Harry in the movie theater, didn't we all cheer? I swear I could hear cheering across the world, across the globe. We all cheered at once when he fought Harry, correct? It took him long enough, but he finally did it. I was like, okay, when are you actually gonna like do it? Because after Charlie literally said that, oh, it's okay, I'm used to the bullying by now, that's when I knew something, like, something had to be done. Because he's not gonna get used to the bullying with you present. Like, you gotta do something. And he scarred Harry. Like, he roughed him up. I wish they would have showed the full fight scene. Last we saw was him pushing Harry against the wall and then cut to black. I would have loved to see Harry get pummeled. Sorry, but I'm not, because Harry is also a nuisance with Ben. I didn't put Harry in here because what is there to say? What is there really to say? He's just the stereotypical homophobic, transphobic, nuisance, incel, bully. But yeah, I would have loved to see Nick do it because it was rightfully deserved. Thank you, Nick. I don't blame him for saying yes when Imogen asked him on a date. I know that a lot of people were like questioning it. People on Twitter were like saying, oh, Nick was kind of putting Charlie through what he went through with Ben. And I was like, that's not the case. For one, Nick isn't assaulting Charlie in the locker rooms. That's not what Nick is doing. Nick isn't afraid to be open with Charlie about his feelings and the fact that he likes him, isn't afraid to show some sort of affection. He's not scared to be around Charlie, for one. Ben would literally like insult Charlie if he commented on him in the halls. Nick didn't do that. They honestly, after they confessed their feelings, there wasn't that much different between how they were the first 2 episodes and how they were the rest of the show. Like, they were very openly affectionate kind of towards each other. So I don't get the whole Nick is kind of Ben is kind of Nick narrative that y'all are throwing around. when he said yes to Imogen, I took that as like, oh, his friends kind of are forcing him to do this because Harry and the rest of the team, the rest of the incels were there. So I don't know. Like, he's literally like, what, 15, 16? Peer pressure sucks. Like, people are already expecting him to be like this himbo type of guy, this stereotypical jock who is straight and dumb. Yeah, I don't really blame him for saying yes because it's what people expected of him, but he never really went on the date. Like, he rejected Imogen. He rejected Imogen to hang out with Charlie at his birthday party, which is something Ben would never do. So yeah, people on Twitter, please stop. If I see hate towards Nick or Charlie, I swear, blocked. I don't need that negative energy in my life. Please stop the violence, please. But yeah, I love Nick. I do. I really, really do. His whole confession to Charlie in the last episode too, in the corridors, it was just like, oh my god. Love him. I love his whole story of finding out who he is. I love the coming out moment to his mother. It was just so touching. Yeah, I love Nick. I love Nick Nelson. Okay, let's go. Let's go to the next one. I could talk about these characters all day. I don't think you guys understand. Next, we have the final character, which is the one and only Charlie Spring, also best boy. One of my favorite characters because hello, like, how do you not love Charlie? I feel like if you don't love Charlie, then you just don't like sunshine, you don't like rainbows, you don't like puppies. Like, how do you not like Charlie? That's so weird to me. Yeah, I love him with all my heart. And if you have anything bad to say about him, you're getting blocked. I'm glad that we got to see his journey of discovering his self-worth, because I feel like they didn't really touch on that much in the books, and it's something I noticed. Like, I peeped it instantly, the way that he was like talking to Nick. I was like, you're willing to put your own like self-esteem behind in order to get with Nick. Like, between letting Nick's friends bully you unprovoked just so Nick won't have to get involved, and like just like all this stuff, I was like, Charlie, we need to have a talk. We need to like understand, like, you're special, you're amazing, you need to understand how amazing you are, so like you don't have to put up with this shit anymore. Like, I was feeling so heartbroken every time he got something thrown at him, or every time he was getting bullied by Harry or Ben. I literally wanted to jump in the screen and give him a hug. And when Tao was talking about him and the way Tao was talking to him, I was like, is no one on this man's side? Is no one on this boy? Sorry, he's literally like, I think 14 at this point in the show. Like 14, 15. Who is helping this boy out? Nick is. I love seeing him come to terms with the fact that he is worthy of what real love is like. Like, he's worthy of having a relationship, like an open relationship with the person that he cares about. Like, when he literally said like on that last scene at the beach, like he never thought something like this would happen to him. I shed a tear. I cried because I just want the best for him. I just really want the best for him, guys. Like, I love him so much. His whole journey of self-worth throughout the whole entire season was so heartwarming. It was so nice. I loved it. I also love how he's down terrible for Nick. Like, but love at first sight, kind of. Like, as soon as he saw Nick, like, the flower animations were going. It was crazy. I mean, I don't blame him. But like, whoa. So him not telling Tao about him and Nick, that was a choice, but I don't blame him for that choice because Tao hates Nick, and Tao was being ridiculously annoying about the whole Nick thing. So I feel like he didn't feel like he could tell Tao anyway, which is something that Tao didn't take into perspective. Like, he's constantly talking shit about Nick, so why would Charlie feel the need to tell you, like, hey, I'm dating this guy? Like, you obviously don't like him, Tao. Like, what? So yeah, I don't blame Charlie for not telling him. Yeah, feeling that he's a burden to Nick and Tao and like constantly ruining their lives also made me shed a tear, because he just feels like his whole existence is a burden, and that's not true. Like, that scene with Tori in his room when she had to literally say, you're not ruining my life, I love you, I'll make you pizza for dinner if you'd like. Oh, it's just, it made me feel so many, like, this show made me feel so many feelings I don't think you guys understand. I'm in it for the long run. Like, I'm sorry, these characters, I'm too attached. I love Charlie so much, and I hope the best for him and Nick going forward now that their relationship is out in the open, and it's here to stay. Like, yeah, I love Charlie. That's all I really have to say about him, though. Like, just great. Amazing casting for him too. I'm pretty sure the guy that plays him is, I know that his last name is Locke, don't remember his first name, but the guy that plays him, amazing casting. Alice Oseman was really in that casting room like, hey, we need exact lookalikes. We need someone who embodies the script, embodies the character. We need that. We need, the chemistry reads to be sparks flying, flowers flowing. Like, we need that, and we got exactly that. That's exactly what she gave us. That's crazy. Yeah, those are all the characters. Now I'm going to talk about what I liked and disliked about the show. First, I want to talk about what I disliked because it's a short list and I like ending on things that I liked. So, things that I did not like. I wish that they kept the bathroom scene with Tao and Charlie at like the bowling alley. I wish that they kept that scene accurate to the book, because in the book, like I said, I feel like I could understand Tao's character better because he explained his reasoning for it in the book to Charlie in that moment at his birthday party in the bathroom. Like, he was like, hey, I'm just scared because Nick is with the same crowd of boys who used to bully you all the time, and I don't want you getting mixed up in that because I had to see you go through that. I had to be the only one fighting for you last year, and I don't want to have to see you dealing with that again. Like, he was very open and honest about his feelings, whereas in the show I felt like he was just dragging out his feelings. It took him like up into like that bench park scene with Elle to say like, hey, Charlie's been bullied a lot and I don't feel like dealing with this. Like, I don't want him to go through this just because he has a teensy-weensy crush on Nick. I feel like that it could have all been resolved in like what episode, I think it was 7, 6, 7, 5, whichever one that was Charlie's birthday party. I feel like it all could have been resolved. Charlie probably would have felt the need to tell him that he was dating Nick if Tao just upright said how he felt and why he was feeling the way he felt, like he did in the books. He had to drag it out until like the last episode to apologize and explain his feelings. I was like, this is weird. Okay, whatever. I'm not mad at it per se. It's not something I'm a fan of. It made me strongly like dislike Tao at some point in the show, and I hope I don't have to feel that next season. Next, this is something I brought up earlier too. I'm not even sure if I should put this as something I dislike. It's just something like I don't get. Imogen as a character. Sorry, there's something in my hair. I don't really understand why she was added in, but then the more I think about it, I think I do understand, but I don't think I like her in the show. Maybe I will later on, because I think she understands that Nick is officially like not available. He's taken by Charlie, so maybe I'll like her more as the show goes on, but I feel like her as a character just didn't need to be in the show. It just added more conflict that didn't need to be there. But also her being in the show just shows that Nick is gonna have a friend that was with him before he came out that still supports him after he came out. Imogen was one of the few friends that the only friend that he had that wasn't on the rugby team that I'm pretty sure is gonna accept him when he comes out as bisexual, and I think that's why they did it. Okay, it was starting to get dark, so I turned on my lights, but I'm almost finished with this video, so I feel like that was a waste. Anyway, yeah, so like I was saying, Imogen, I don't know where they're going to go with her character. This is obviously just me being like speculative. I have no idea because she wasn't written in the books. Like, she was written for the show, so they could honestly do anything with her, and I'm just gonna have to be okay with it because she's here to stay and nothing I can really do about it. So yeah, those are the only two things that I quote unquote disliked. Let's get on to stuff I did like. Okay, let's end on a positive note. So I love, I can't stress how much I love how it stayed true to the books. I'm not kidding you guys. If you guys read volumes 1 and 2, 95% of the show is just that. Like, they covered it word for word, line for line. Like, they quoted specific lines page for page in the book, scenes for scenes. It was crazy. It was like, I've never seen such a good live adaptation of a book in my life. They barely changed anything in the original. If anything, the stuff that they did add made it a little bit better. Like, I was surprised. I was like, whoa, what's happening here? Is this a good live adaptation I'm saying? By Netflix? I mean, don't even get me wrong. Since I heard Alice Oseman was going to be a part of it, I had a feeling that she wouldn't lead me astray. I was like, there's no way she's going to let Netflix ruin this gem right here that she has created. Because since she, of course, wrote the book, she was going to be a part of, like, the whole entire, like, making of the show. She was like an executive producer. She obviously was somewhat of a script writer because they were literally taking line for lines of the book. It was crazy. Reading it the night before and watching it the next day, I felt very, like, it was very jarring because I was like, this is exactly the same. I was like, this is crazy. And then like the little animations that they added, the little leaves blowing every time like feelings were being had, like when Nick went to grab Charlie's hand and sparks were flying, like the little animations just made it so much better. Like it felt like exactly like the book. It gave me the same feelings I had when I read the book. I didn't expect them to respect the original work so well. So yeah, that's one thing I liked. Another thing I liked was Darcy and Tara's relationship being kind of a subplot to the show. Like I said, I would have loved to see more of Tara and Darcy, if I'm being honest. But the fact that they even handled their relationship in the show was really nice, because like I said, there was like a mini comic of how they met at the end of volume 2. I've only read the first 2 volumes. I repeat, I've not read volume 3 or volume 4. So I have no idea if they touch more on how their relationship goes in the next 2 volumes I'm about to read. But I like how they treated it in the show. Like they showed the journey of both Nick and Charlie's relationship and Tara and Darcy's relationship to a certain extent. Like you could see the struggles of their both relationships, but like at different times. Like, you know, Tara and Darcy are an out couple, meanwhile Nick and Charlie aren't, and you could see how there are problems with both being had. It's but 2 kind of totally different situations. It was handled so well. I loved it. I loved seeing Tara and Darcy's relationship. Mr. Ajayi, I think that's how you pronounce his name, the teacher that Charlie went to for all of his problems and ate lunch with in the classroom when he was getting bullied. I just love that they did that. I love that they wrote in someone who Charlie can confide in that's not his friends. Because he was right. His friends wouldn't understand his problems because they're not gay. So, of course, being the only gay teacher in the school, Charlie went to him and confided in him, and it was just something that I really liked. Like the moments with him and Mr. Ajayi were kind of like some of my favorites, if I'm being honest, because Charlie really had someone who was looking out for him in his best interest and giving him advice, because they're someone that's went through it before. And yeah, just him being an added character, I loved him. I want to see more of him too. And I like how he's kind of protective of Charlie. Like Nick said that when he first walked into the room, he was like, the teacher was giving him like evil eyes, because he's seen what these boys have been putting Charlie through, and he's very, very worried about him. Like constantly giving him advice. Nearly every episode, Charlie's just like, I'm in a gay crisis. Like I need help. And Mr. Jai is there willing to help. I also liked the moment between Nick and Tao when they were eating at lunch together. I think it was episode 7 when Charlie was ignoring them both. And Nick was like, dude, I think Charlie is ignoring us, and I don't know how to solve it. And it was just a one-on-one of them, and I was kind of worried about how it would go, because that was something that was not in the books. I kind of hope it's something that I get to see more often in the books, him and Tao just talking, and they don't have to bond, but just understanding each other. Because like I said, Tao, every time Nick came into the room, Tao just gave him like the stankiest face you can ever imagine. So the fact that they had that little moment at lunch, I just really liked a lot, because their one similarity is both caring about Charlie so much. They kind of bonded over that, like their love for Charlie. It's something that I really appreciated, because I was like, they can't be beefing in season 2. We need to resolve this. And it was in that little moment at the lunch table. And then last thing I liked, episode 6. Episode 6 I'm pretty sure was a Tara and Darcy centered episode. Kind of. It was the episode where they ate lunch with Nick, and he told them that he was dating Charlie. And Tara and Darcy were the first people that he told about him and Charlie's relationship, and it was so cute. It was so freaking cute. And it was the band concert episode too, where they got locked up in the band room together, and Tara told Darcy her feelings about her dealing with people's expectations now that she's come out. It was just such a good episode. I love episode 6. If it is episode 6, it might be episode 6 or 7, but I'm pretty sure it's episode 6. And the last thing that I liked is the beach scene, because I loved it reading the book. Like reading the book, it just made my heart feel so warm. Like it made me feel so happy. But seeing it on screen, and then it switched into like the animated version of the scene, I loved it. It is so happy. This show was a serious serotonin boost. Like if you really want a good vibe, a great feeling to be had, the show is the one. Best show of the year. It's in at least top 5, and it's only April. Watch Heartstopper if you haven't already. It is only 8 episodes long, and it is only 30-minute episodes. I know, right? Crazy. So yeah, if you're like me and you have a short attention span and can barely watch full hour-length episodes nowadays, this is the show for you. It's so cute. It's like a non-toxic LGBTQ friendly relationships all throughout the show. It's so good. It's so good. Please watch it. I'm done, I think. I loved it. I loved everything about it, and I might rewatch it after I'm done making this video. So with that being said, that's the end of my video. If you guys liked it, thanks. If you would like to tell me your thoughts about it, you can down in the comments section, or you can go on my Twitter and interact with me there, because I mostly interact on Twitter. But if you would like to follow me on my other social medias to talk about Heartstopper, it's going to be linked in the description below. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye everyone.